Hello everyone, my name is Gus.
Hi, I'm Woody.
Today we have the requested, this has been requested a lot,
Okay.
the review of the new Garmin X50i, which is the new dive computer from Garmin. It's their flagship computer. It's pretty awesome. They sent us one. They kind of introduced it at DEMA last year, 2024. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, that's really cool. Why? Because I love this form factor for diving. I love this form factor for like day-to-day activities. This has become like my new like day-to-day fitness tracker, let's just say. Because before that, I was using this thing, which is the Apple Watch Ultra, which is the same one you have.
I'm wearing it.
And then I decided to give the Garmin Descent Mark III a shot, and I really like it. It's really, really good. And I got in the whole like Garmin community and connected to all my friends who are
Nice.
runners and stuff, and like we're all keeping each other like, keep going, keep working out. But anyway, I love that for that. But for diving, there's nothing better than a large screen that I
Yeah.
can see anywhere. It's awesome. And if you compare it with, let's say, a Shearwater Petrol 3, which a lot of people are familiar with this size, the Shearwater Petrol 3, it also is about the same size of the Perdix 2. People really love the size of the screen, right? So I was excited to try it. This computer, by the way, let's get it out of the way, $1,500. Pretty pricey. The Petrol 3, for example, is $1,300, I think, $200 less. And that is the top of the line technical computer from Shearwater, Petrol 3. Right? So it's less expensive. The transmitters are also less expensive from Shearwater compared to the ones from Garmin. However, Garmin does say that, well, it's more expensive because it's higher quality, it does more. And we learn, because you were diving at the Zen Mark III, that it can do a lot more, like, for example, communication. A lot of people were making a big fuss about this, and I wanted to test it. So I was curious how this was going to go.
Well, a couple of things.
Yeah.
It is, first of all, the display is great. Right now, if I had a choice in terms of quickness of button functionality and information that I want as a technical diver, after diving this only recreationally,
Right.
even diving the Shearwater recreationally, I still like the Shearwater.
Yeah.
Because I think it's because I'm used to it, but
Right.
man, it's just super easy to use and quick. The second thing, though, that I notice here, I don't know what PSAC means, and I don't know how to
right.
use it. No, I went to ChatGPT here, okay? Because if you're going to display something on the screen, which you're doing right now,
Yeah.
and you're diving, and you could see it's great. ATR, that's how much gas you
Right.
have, time you have left at this depth
Yeah.
based on your PSI. I love that you can see my pressure. Isn't that cool? Look, I had 2346, you had 2570. PSI left
Yeah.
in your tank. There's your compass heading, no decompression limit, you're at 26 feet,
So
all
let's
great
talk,
info.
Let's talk about these features
But
because I think it's important.
But let
and
me.
then you can get to the PSAC part.
I'm going to read it,
I want you to get
definition
to it.
it, ask ChatGPT, and I want to see if you underwater could tell me why I need to know that.
So one of the functions that Garmin, and I talked about this on my review of the Descent Mark III that we posted a couple months ago, which is the most expensive dive computer in the market, the Descent Mark III 51 millimeters, which I have right here. Garmin sent me this one as well for me to check it out, and I reviewed it, and we released the video for it. Great computer, but again, it has pros and cons. What I wanted to mention is that one of the things that people criticized from Shearwater is the fact that their transmitters, which they use kind of a standard, like Oceanic uses the same one, and I think Aqualung uses the same standard. So like you can have an Aqualung transmitter work with a Shearwater computer. That's what I mean by standard. So that technology, whatever it is, radio, I don't know what technology they use in the transmitters, is kind of a standard technology. Garmin looked at the complaints from people with those transmitters, which are mainly about range, and they decided look, we're going to fix this.
Okay.
And the way they fix that, I talked about this in that review. If you want to watch it, please go ahead and check it out, is by adding a chirp, right? This beep, beep thing going on every 5 seconds or so, and it's maddening. It's crazy. I still have not gotten used to it. I don't know how many dives now with a Garmin computer. It's so annoying.
Just so you know, I thought something was wrong.
You thought?
I'm like, what is somebody's computer is whacked at the beginning? I did not know what was going on. So
they fixed the issue of range by adding a chirp. So basically, the transmitters in the computer talk to each other like, hey, yo, hey. What's your name? Huh? Like they are just talking to each other. And that's how they fix it. So now, this is pretty cool. You can monitor each other's pressure and depth up to 10 meters. Which with the Garmin, with the Shearwater is like, it's less.
Because sometimes I'll lose even my own pressure wearing my Shearwater.
Yeah. And
when
you
I'm
lose
on,
connectivity.
I lose connectivity. So I will say that I never, ever lost connectivity on this dive.
We were together.
Both your pressure and mine, I never lost that. It was better connectivity, I think.
But to what cost? Which is the chirp. Now, in addition to be able to track the air pressure up to 8 divers, by the way. That was just the 2 of us, but you can have 8 people in here. So if you're
like a scuba instructor tracking a class.
Keeping track of everybody is pretty cool. You have to all be within 10 meters of each other, though. So that's 30 feet or 33 feet or whatever. You have to be within, which you should. You should have control of your class as an instructor. But communications was the second thing they added. They said, look, one of the things that you can do with these transmitters is be able to message each other underwater.
So I really used it with you. I hope you appreciated it.
So I was afraid of telling you this because I knew you were going to abuse it. Abuse it.
I wanted to make sure you were okay every couple seconds.
And we decided to test it.
You're my buddy.
So the messaging communication can go up to 100 meters. So you can be 100 meters from each other and communicating.
And if I hadn't talked to you within 3 to 4 seconds, I need to be sure.
Now,
you're fine.
The problem with this communication is called subwave underwater communication, by the way, is diver-to-diver communication, but it's limited. You can't just text whatever you want. It's preset with these sentences. Basically.
Within a certain distance, which basically is a distance that I can see you.
Right. Follow me. Turn the dive. Signal location. I don't even know what that is. Help me. Wait. Safely end the dive, as opposed to freak out and end the dive. Proceed. Watch for my signal. What? Why would I message you, watch for my signal, when I can just be like...
And that is my point. I want to chime in. So, let's say one of the things that I'm asking you on this is, are you okay?
Yeah.
And I need to basically be able to do it pretty much within visual distance of you. Otherwise, it's not going to communicate. But what isn't that the same? Do I need to click down 3 buttons, click to the right, and find the message?
It was so many buttons.
I was like, hold on, let me.
Okay.
Which once I figured it out, now I was asking you a million questions.
But then there's a delay too. You can see on the video, there's a delay. Like I would ask you, are you okay? Yeah. Like it would just be a while until you're like, oh. You would turn around and you didn't give me the okay sign. You gave me a different sign, which I won't put that on video. But anyway.
Or I gave you an answer that made no sense whatsoever, which, by the way, a diver may do, right? They're clicking a million buttons.
No, but some of these don't make okay, so here's another one.
We're being harsh, but I just don't.
Need weight. Where? Okay, let's say I'm swimming. I beep, need weight.
Well, maybe right away.
For the surface?
Well, right away, yeah. Right away with a dive class, I could see that when you tell the instructor need weight and he sends the dive master back up. But my point is even further. You as divers get to go underwater in a beautiful, serene, quiet world. Do you want to talk? Frankly, do you even want to? Did you want to hear from me every 8 seconds?
I can't stop it, but no, I don't.
Absolutely no.
Right.
And then the second thing is, isn't it really easy to learn 5 or 6 hand signals and fast? If I go like this, man, and immediate, right? Are you okay? I don't have to wait for you to die in panic before getting the transmission.
These are my favorite. Can I tell you my favorite messages that we didn't send to each other?
I couldn't find them. They're too far.
Condition message. There's conditions. Like, the current and visibility conditions. So like I'm messaging you, gray vis or bat vis.
Like, leave me alone.
I know. I use my eyes. So why are you telling me that?
Yes.
The other one, water temperature. Water's cold. No. Of course it's cold. I'm in the water with you.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of these messages don't make any sense. It just seems like they were added for no reason. Now, look, I think where the value of communication really shines is if you could talk to the boat. That would be a game changer. I think that would be awesome. For example, in long deco stops, you could message the boat and say, "We're okay. We're on the deco stop. We are whatever. We need a tank. Send an O2 tank." Those types of messages will be awesome.
Definitely.
And if Garmin, if you're watching, please add that. Something where
Could
the boat
be a distance issue, though. I don't know.
Well, the boat can lower. You know how we review one of those communicator things. They have like a transmitter you can lower in the water and sink it. Mm-hmm. Like I get it. If you're drifting or if you're swimming away, like it's easy to be 100 meters from the boat, 300 feet from the boat. It's true. But if you're doing deco, especially on a downline where you know the line is, there's a buoy and there's a boat connected to the buoy, man, be able to talk to the boat, 30 minutes more deco, 20 minutes more deco, or the boat to recall everybody. Get back to the boat. Bleep. I just got a message. I don't have to hear the banging or whatever. Boat to divers communication, to me, is way more valuable and important than diver to diver.
Awesome, and agree. That's a no-brainer.
So, to me, that was a huge miss by Garmin to add that information. I thought it was complete waste of capabilities and time.
I mean, you could tell it's a really high-quality computer.
Yeah.
I will tell all of our viewers it has all the technical features, almost all the technical features that I could find that a Shearwater has. There's some other advanced features I saw in Shearwater that I don't know.
I don't think
if the Garmin has like gradient factor 99 or surface gradient factor.
They're firmware related. Like they can push an update and get it. So I think that's okay. But personally, here's my biggest drawback with this computer. All right, so here we go. Because
I'm going to ask you, I'm holding on to my question.
If you ask me if you should buy this computer or not, I would say no.
What would you say they should buy instead?
The main reason why I think this computer doesn't work and nobody should buy it. I mean, I don't want to say nobody because
you're definitely never getting a new one again. But
as my last review of a Garmin computer, no, I would say that the main issue with this computer is battery life. The battery life in this computer is completely atrocious. That's horrible.
Not good.
Horrible. I think that, and maybe I was doing it.
Well, what do you mean? Like, what was going on with you?
So, like, I would start the dive with 100%. Like, I would charge the computer. Now, the advantage is
because the small ones are fine. The watch
it's rechargeable. So that compare with a Shearwater that uses a AA battery. The fact that this one is rechargeable is cool. You can start every dive full. Although you could argue that you can always replace the battery on this guy. The thing with the Shearwater is that you replace the battery on this thing like once a year or whatever it is. Like it goes forever on those AA lithium batteries that we put on these. But this one, it's cool because it's rechargeable, so you could charge it every day. But why should I have to charge it every day? That is such a pain. So I would start with like 100%. And we're diving open circuit air. This is not like a rebreather dive, like complex multi-deco gas. Like, no, it's just we're going down for an hour, we're coming back up. And it would end at like 42%. Like, why am I using like half my battery in one dive?
Was it a screen brightness issue maybe? You didn't realize you had it on super bright?
When was the last time you messed with the screen brightness on the Shearwater?
Never.
I don't even know if you can. Like
I've never.
It's one of those where it's like balls to the wall, full blast brightness. And I never have to worry about it. So why do I have to compromise? And I know that some people will be like, well, you should turn off the transmitter capabilities. You should turn off the GPS thing. But then why would you pay more for a computer that can, like, I really love the fact that in the dive log, it put a pin in Yambu in Saudi Arabia where we were when we tested these. And it would say you were in the Iona wreck. Like, that's where your dive was. Automatically.
So it has some amazing features.
It's awesome features. But to the cost of your battery?
But if they fixed a few of these things that you're mentioning, would you then retract that statement and say, I love this computer more than your Shearwaters?
No.
Would you go that far?
I don't know if I would go that far. But the reason for that is Shearwater comes with this baby right here. This cable that connects to my Dive Talk Go.
Absolutely.
And I can't do that with a Garmin because they're all wireless, right? So 99% of the diving that we do is rebreathers. We rarely do open circuit anymore. And because of that, we are relying on Garmin.
And because of
Garmin,
that,
Shearwater.
I want to chime in one other point. If I'm sort of by default forced to wear my petrol because it has a 4-pin that connects to my rebreather, I don't want to have a different program as my backup computer.
True.
So on my right arm, I have a Perdix, which is the same screen button configuration, right? Because if you have an emergency, you switched to your backup computer, and during an emergency is not the time for your brain to try to figure out, wait, now this computer has different buttons and screens.
Yeah.
I want the same. But it is interesting. I wonder if Garmin is working on that to become a rebreather dive computer that can read the loop volume.
That would be cool. The other thing that I don't understand is, and we spend time before the diving setting these computers up identical, meaning same decompression algorithm, Buhlmann, same gradient factors, 50, 70, same like water, whether it's fresh water, salt water, brackish, whatever. Like we set them up identical, but for some reason Garmin always gives you way more conservative times. Like I run into Deco on the first dive that we did in the Iona wreck. Like we did some swim throughs and it would be like 5 minutes of deco there, whatever. Like we clear it by far on the way up.
That had to be a setting issue because if they were doing
Shearwater would have never.
Then you must be. I'm going to give that one to Garmin and say that was Gus' error somehow, because there's no way. It's a Buhlmann.
Fine. I'll accept that.
I think that has to be.
Fine.
I think.
Let's
I'm not criticizing you. It's just there's no way.
Well, let's say something is something I did. Okay. Now, if I, who have used I don't know how many computers at this point, and I was already a Garmin dive computer user, cannot figure this out, and you see things on
and you're a doctor,
well, a lot of people think, and you see the screen of the computer, like in this case, for example, we're seeing numbers like PSAC, and it's stumping us.
Well,
I ask you, I'm like, what's PSAC? And you're like, PSAC. It's like, well, hold on. Let me ask you.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You're a dive instructor, right?
Right.
So you absolutely would research and read information about your dive computer like you tell your students to do, and you would know the why and what to do with information on your dive computer. I know you. You're a doctor. I mean, you don't do that kind of stuff.
Of course.
So tell me, because you're a really, really top-notch dive instructor, can you explain? I'm your student. Awesome, Gus. I have a PSAC at 26 feet of 13.6. I'm your student. How am I doing? Tell me, what do I do with it? And I'm going to read you from everything I've researched what it means. But I want to go further. I want to help you, instructor. This is going to make it easy for you. I don't want you to miss in front of the audience.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what it means, and then you teach me.
Read me what PSAC is.
On a Garmin dive computer, instructor.
Like this one, yeah.
Instructor, Dr. Gus.
Yeah.
PSAC stands for pressure in square inches absolute.
Okay. Yeah, I already lost me, but all right.
Okay, instructor, but just wait. This indicates the absolute pressure being measured, which includes both the ambient atmospheric pressure and the gauge pressure of the gas in the tank. So you should be able to teach me here in a second.
Right.
So in the context of scuba diving, instructor Dr. Gus, PSAC is often used to monitor the total pressure within the scuba tank, taking into account, of course, the atmospheric pressure at the surface. And this is particularly useful, Dr. Gus, for divers to understand the total pressure they are working with, especially when planning dives and measuring air consumption. Now, I'm not the brightest student, and I admit that. So you are better than me, and you're an instructor. Please tell me what do I do with my 13.6?
You can read that 20 times, and I still have no idea what you said. None of that.
Do I divide a number? What? So I have 13.6 PSAC.
What?
Am I doing good? Am I?
But that's what I'm saying.
So is my breathing slow? Am I breathing fast? Is it related to PSI? Gauge and atmospheric pressure. Is it my surface air consumption rate minus something? I get the ATR 60. That's easy. I have 60 minutes of air left based on the depth I'm at.
Yeah.
Good info at my breathing rate.
ATR.
Great.
Yes.
But you have no idea what the 13.6 was.
And I know people watching this will be like, you can change that and put whatever number you want in there. I get it. We get that. But the point is, what am I doing with this information? Like, okay, you get a PSAC of 13.6. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad. I don't even know what PSAC is.
I told you what it was.
We are trained professionals. How would a brand new open water diver know what to do with this stuff? Like, I don't get it.
There's
a
formula. I could, if you want me to lose every single viewer we have right now.
No.
Because I have an algebraic formula to convert that into maybe possibly understanding what it does.
As well
which if you
Aramaic.
can do algebra underwater while diving with me,
then you can.
Then you could maybe send me a message.
But what I'm saying is,
no, I
this
just
is a
don't
good
know
example.
what to do with it.
It's a good example of people sitting around and seemingly going to Google and searching for, like, give me dive terms. Scuba diving terms, and we'll put it in the computer. They just wanted to put stuff in it.
But we're going to get criticized. I don't think so.
I get it.
I'm going to say Garmin is going to say, listen, guys, it's your fault, Dr. Gus, for not knowing immediately as an instructor what to tell your student to do with PSAC. I know.
So this is like when Apple came out with those iPhones that people were having like phone calls dropped or whatever because they put the antenna in the wrong place and they told people you're holding your phone wrong. That's Garmin's play on this one. It's your fault that you don't know this obscure term that makes no sense.
I know a lot of people are going to say, of course, that's easy. You're using.
Oh, they'll copy and paste from Wikipedia. I get it. They know how to copy and paste. That doesn't mean they understand it. I don't think
I think a dive computer should quickly and easily, at a glance, give you really relevant information to apply during a dive. I think that's what a dive computer should do. And for me, the Shearwater, and I'm biased. Everybody's going to say you're never going to like anything better than Shearwater.
Yeah,
maybe, but I just. By the way, I enjoyed using the watch version of this.
Yeah.
There was some really good features, but I particularly enjoyed the childish part of me of
messaging.
The messaging benefit for me was only that I could annoy you.
It's all entertainment.
Only that I could annoy you. If the more I annoyed you, the more I'm like, this is a fun dive.
Like, I remember
every second.
We were right next to each other, and all of a sudden my thing vibrates. And I look at it and it says, come to me. And you were next to me.
It's like, you're like, what? Stop it. And then you would have to wait and hear the vibration.
I will say, if there's something good Garmin did, this is just a very selfish thing. If there's something good they did is they don't allow you to spam messages. Like, you can't just send the same one over and over and over, or else you would have been like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?
I tried that. I tried that, by the way.
Of course you tried. I know that because I tried.
Dang it.
And it didn't work. So anyway, bottom line is, great computer, like really awesome, built like a tank. The quality, the craftsmanship, really, really great. Atrocious battery life. Terrible. The worst one I've seen of any computer in the market. Really, really bad. And that by itself, I think, would drive me crazy. Especially if you're in like a liveaboard where you're doing like 4 or 5 dives a day or whatever. I feel like maybe the first 2 you'll be okay, and then you're going to have to start plugging it like between dives and hoping for the best. Like, okay, I'm at 33%. I hope it works. And you should never be in that position. You should never be in that position. Like, with these guys last like a week or whatever, 5 days, let's just say.
Really good battery life on the watch
really
version
of
the Garmin dive computer.
It's not a Terek. Like, a Shearwater Terek will last like 2 months. I mean, it's done.
Amazing.
It will last like, and is rechargeable. It will last like months.
I know.
I don't know how they do it. Where are these guys getting their batteries? Because Garmin needs the same manufacturer.
And you know what's interesting? A lot of people may have said, well, they sent you guys all these dive computers because they sent me 2 more. The big watch version, the small watch version.
Yes,
thousands of dollars worth of computers.
Right.
And we literally end up giving them away a lot of times at our Dive Talk
sure.
meetup. So we're not doing reviews to get gear.
No.
Obviously, you just said you would choose the Shearwater over this. But if they made the changes that you recommended,
Yeah.
then I think Garmin
They will have a good
has a
player.
really, really solid computer that could compete against the Shearwater.
I just want to reiterate. If you like this form factor, okay, this square, big computer on your arm form factor, I do think the Petrol or the Perdix 2 from Shearwater are a better choice than the Garmin X50i, in my opinion. If you want to stick with Garmin, I think that the Zen Mark III in watch version, it's a better computer than the X50.
I do too.
So I just can't think of a place where this would be the best choice. If you want to stick with a Garmin Dive computer, I wouldn't choose this. And if you want to stay with this form factor, I wouldn't choose this either. That's what I meant by I cannot recommend anyone to buy it. Now, does that mean it's a bad computer? No, it doesn't mean it's a bad computer. It's a great computer. I love diving with it. Like I said, the battery life is atrocious. But other than that, the screen, the brightness, the fact that it's built like a rock, the fact that it has a built-in flashlight on it for emergencies, that's cool. Shearwater doesn't have that. So there are features on this thing that are awesome, but I just wouldn't choose it over some of the competitors even within Garmin itself.
By chance, did you happen to take any video of the every 2 to 4 second messages I sent you? Because I would love to see, I wish I could see your face as I continued.
Oh my God.
Because sometimes you would send me a message and ask me a question. I gave you back a completely different answer from the menu that wasn't related to your question.
I mean, literally every message we sent would have been easier to just turn around and ask with hand
like
signals.
dives over.
Every single one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Dives over. This means safely exit. This means I'm done. This means let's head out.
Are you okay?
Everything.
I mean,
are
so
you
I'm
okay?
just saying,
I'm okay. How much deco? Like all of the things that you could ask.
Yeah, but I think I love what you said. Boy, if they could make that messaging to the boat, that would be great. I love that you can monitor all of your students' gas. Super cool feature.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy the constant noise thing, but it never lost transmission. It is Shearwater. I don't know what you need to do, but your signal needs to get stronger.
Yeah.
Because I've lost it a bunch. When I put my O2 tank, a transmitter on my O2 tank on my rebreather, many times it stops reading what the pressure is.
I have to extend mine on the side one. I have like a 12-inch or whatever hose
I don't want
to make it closer because so Shearwater is not perfect either. There's pros and cons for them as well. But I just wanted to end up and say that. Thank you, Garmin, for sending us
your
a
last
computer for us
computer
to review,
you're ever
for sending
gonna
me
get.
my last computer ever to review. But this also shows that, number one, this video is not sponsored by Garmin. They didn't pay us for this review, or else
Nobody does.
I wouldn't have said don't buy one. But the second thing is that we're not biased. We're completely unbiased. This is really our thoughts, and every single company that sends us a piece of equipment that's scuba related for us to test, we will give you 100% honesty. I don't care who they are. They can be a giant company like Garmin. They could be a brand new company coming up with their first product. Doesn't matter. We will always give you 100% honesty.
And I will say, for Garmin, you have not taken off that Garmin Dive watch.
I use it all the time.
So that speaks loudly, doesn't it? I'm still wearing my Apple one, and and you sent me the Garmin one. Gus loves it.
I don't even know if my Apple Ultra works.
I understand. So you may love the Garmin Dive watch because of all of its other functionality. That's important, everybody out there.
Well,
You may love the Garmin Dive computer because of all of the other functionality, and you're going to use it all the time.
Yeah. I will say, though, that the only place for this thing to fit is if you love Garmin Diving, the app is great, Garmin Diving app, all the GPS or whatever, and you need the big form factor, then obviously this is the only choice for you. It's to buy an X50i. However, it's funny because they mention like, oh, you can use this computer out. Like if you're hiking or whatever, you can just put it on and have the GPS navigation.
I would not do that. There's no way.
Could you do it? Yeah, but again, it still feels like you're just adding stuff for no reason.
Yeah, but
like
I think
I could play pickleball with this thing and track my pickleball playing. Like imagine showing up with that.
You're like, what are you doing? Are you going diving? But basically, it is interesting. Garmin has to be thinking in that boardroom, are we going to go to the next step and try to get into the PO2 monitoring on rebreathers?
Yeah.
Because they're not there. That's Shearwater. I don't know.
They
There's
own
some
that.
other ones. There's some other ones, but
Well, a lot of
mostly
manufacturers
Shearwater.
have their own proprietary
Yeah.
ones. Like
So-
Poseidon have their own computers. And
But
stuff
right
like that.
now, as long as I've got that 4-pin petrol monitoring my PO2, then my backup computer has to be the same brand. I
Yeah.
cannot be switching and thinking differently.
Absolutely. So now you know. Before you buy a Garmin X50i, now you know the drawbacks, also the pluses, and now you can make an informed decision. And in case you want to check out our review of the Descent Mark III, I'm going to leave it right here. Check it out. The most expensive computer in the world.
But I am going to want to dive again with you on the Garmin because I didn't do all the messages.
Oh man, if they release the ability to do your own custom messages,
You're going to get killed. I want to crush you. Wait till you see what I send you.